I have to admit, I think that they're right half the time. I am a little bit nuts doing the things that we do.
This just happened 1 minute ago, and it has left the entertainment industry in shock. Danny Koker, once the king of custom cars and the face of counting cars, seemed unstoppable. With his booming shop, flashy rides, and larger-than-life attitude, fans thought nothing could shake the count. But behind the shiny engines and rock-and-roll charm, cracks began to show, and now, the man who built an empire from muscle cars has lost it all. What really happened to Danny Koker? How did the fan favorite go from millionaire to meltdown? The truth behind his downfall will surprise you.
An arrest has been made after a Local 10 News investigation exposed a high-end car deal gone terribly wrong.
It started with betrayal. Danny's own accountant, Joseph Frontiera, stole money from him. The fraud was so bad that the IRS hit Danny with a massive $188,000 penalty. That kind of money can destroy a business. Counts Customs was bleeding cash, and Danny couldn't stop it. In 2014, Danny Koker's troubles began when a couple sued Counts Customs for $50,000. They had brought their 1967 Ford Mustang to the shop, dreaming it would be featured on Counting Cars. They trusted Danny with their prized possession and their hard-earned money, but their dream turned into a nightmare. The couple claimed that Counts Customs did absolutely nothing to their car. Worse, they said the car wasn't even the right model they had asked for. They felt cheated and betrayed. They demanded every penny back. The lawsuit made headlines. Danny's reputation took its first major hit. Although he settled the case quickly to avoid more bad publicity, people started questioning whether Counts Customs was legitimate or just a TV show scam. The real disaster struck in 2017. This time, the legal trouble was far more serious and would destroy everything Danny had built. It started when a former Counts Customs employee was caught stealing money from the company. Police discovered he was using that money to buy illegal substances. The investigation seemed straightforward at first, just a bad employee. But then detectives dug deeper. What they found shocked everyone. The substances weren't just for the employee. They were connected directly to Danny Koker himself. The truth exploded into public view. Danny Koker, the friendly car enthusiast that millions of fans loved, was an addict fans felt completely betrayed. They had watched Danny for years on Counting Cars. They admired his passion for cars and his hard work. The legal consequences were swift and brutal. Danny was sentenced to 30 days in jail. Even though a month doesn't sound like much, the damage to his reputation was catastrophic. His mugshot appeared in newspapers, and online people who once respected him now saw him as just another celebrity addict who threw everything away. Counts Customs was in chaos. Employees didn't know if they would have jobs. Customers pulled their cars from the shop. Nobody wanted to do business with a convicted addict. The phones stopped ringing. The shop that was once packed with customers became quiet and empty. The future of Counting Cars hung by a thread. Network executives held emergency meetings. Sponsors threatened to pull their advertisements. Fans debated online whether the show should continue or be canceled immediately. Some argued everyone deserves a second chance. Others said Danny didn't deserve another platform after what he did. When Danny got out of jail, he tried desperately to save his career. He knew his only chance was total honesty. He couldn't hide anymore. So he went public with everything. Danny admitted his addiction to the world. He talked about his time in jail. He described the shame and embarrassment he felt. He promised he was getting sober and would never use substances again. He begged fans to give him another chance. Some fans forgave him. They appreciated his honesty and wanted to support his recovery. But most people had already moved on. The trust was destroyed. Once people see you as an addict and a criminal, it's almost impossible to change their minds. Then came the final crushing blow. In 2021, Counting Cars was canceled after 10 seasons and 186 episodes. For nearly a decade, the show had been one of the History Channel's biggest successes. It combined car restoration, personal stories, and business drama in a way that kept viewers hooked week after week. Fans had hoped the show would continue forever. They wanted to see more amazing car builds. They wanted to follow Danny's journey. But as time passed with no announcement of a new season, the truth became clear. There would be no comeback. Counting Cars was over. The network never officially said why they canceled the show, but everyone knew the real reason: Danny's conviction and jail time made him toxic. Sponsors didn't want their brands associated with him. The network couldn't risk the bad publicity. His legal troubles had killed the show that made him famous. Without counting cars, Danny lost his main source of income and relevance. The show had brought customers to Count's Customs. It had made Danny a household name. It had generated millions of dollars. Now all of that was gone. Desperate and struggling, Danny tried to keep Count's Customs alive any way he could. He started offering free tours of his Las Vegas shop. He hoped that die-hard fans would come visit and see the famous cars from the show. He set up a small exhibit inside the shop displaying memorable moments and classic car restorations from over the years. But offering free tours showed how far Danny had fallen. He went from TV celebrity to desperate business owner giving away tours because nobody would pay for them. The shop that once had waiting lists of customers now had to beg people to visit. By 2025, Danny had nothing left. After 16 years, he was forced to sell Count's Vamped Bar and Grill, his beloved rock club in Las Vegas, the place where he spent thousands of nights playing music and living his dream. He listed it for $3.75 million. But everyone knew the truth. He was desperate. Friends say Danny is exhausted and broken. The club was his life, his identity. Selling it wasn't a choice. It was survival. The final show happened on June 2025. When those lights went out, so did Danny's dreams. But what millions of fans didn't know was that the show hiding Danny's darkest secrets was also lying about everything else.
What do you got to have for it?
I gotta have 10 grand.
As far as I'm concerned, it's a done deal.
Okay.
10 G's, done. Done.
That's good.
Let's just leave it here.
The idea of someone confronting strangers in public, pulling out a stack of cash, and offering to buy their cars on the spot feels captivating enough to hold anyone's attention. It looks exciting when broadcast on television, like a situation where hidden gems are discovered by chance. The truth is, that portion of the production is fabricated. However, the reality is far more ordinary. Usually, the participants are reached out to in advance, details are coordinated off-screen, and the supposedly spontaneous interaction is performed again for recording purposes. Sometimes the exchanges are written beforehand, and at other times they are deliberately arranged to generate a compelling moment. Either way, it lacks the authenticity it projects. The real responses from Count's Customs clients have been mixed, with certain individuals voicing their discontent. Like any enterprise, there are satisfied patrons and those who feel let down. Yet, what gets shown on television is always one of flawlessness, enthusiasm, and praise. Danny often admits that parting with automobiles is never easy. Given that he deals with countless cars on a regular basis, one might think that selling them would be second nature by now. Even though many of the rebuilds are commissioned by clients, and strictly speaking, those automobiles were never really his possessions. Still, when it involves his personal endeavors, things become different. He views every car he handles as representing a fragment of who he is, making it difficult to let go because it feels like surrendering part of himself. This feeling is understandable since all true creators form strong bonds with what they produce. But genuine artistic satisfaction comes when the creation reaches others, outside the creator's grasp. Still, his emotional investment shown during broadcasts adds depth to the storytelling and boosts the program's entertainment value. This brings us to the constant commotion within the crew. Arguments, banter, spontaneous conflicts, and exaggerated antics are sprinkled throughout each episode. Though it maintains viewer interest, much of it is orchestrated beforehand. Once the cameras begin rolling, the staff members present heightened versions of their personalities. They understand they're portraying roles, so they intensify every gesture, every response, and every remark. It may not be entirely rehearsed, but it certainly isn't genuine. They are entertaining the audience, creating conflict that wouldn't naturally emerge without the presence of recording devices. A major controversy connected to the establishment involved legal proceedings with Joseph Frontiera. The press paid attention when the former staff member was accused of stealing money from the operation for personal luxuries. Count's Customs additionally pursued legal action against the firm that had recommended him, though this claim was never proven. Altogether, the litigation created a poor public image, with some suspecting it was motivated by publicity-seeking and monetary pursuit instead of legitimate grievances. Whether or not these accusations held merit, it added to the existing controversy around the workshop. Another element of the misrepresentation is how quickly restorations appear to happen on these programs. Audiences might be fooled into believing that a deteriorated vehicle can become a stunning showpiece within days. Actually, even a simple restoration undertaking can last for many months. For more complex projects like those displayed on screen, it can extend to 6 months or longer. The reality is that the facility regularly handles more than a dozen vehicles at once, which complicates the filming process. Following production, the material is cut together to construct engaging narratives for 30-minute or 60-minute segments. But before the scandal destroyed everything, who was Danny Koker?
Music, 3 things that I grew up in, and I'm blessed enough to be able to continue.
Danny loved cars from childhood. He learned by fixing engines in his garage. This hobby grew into something bigger. It made him famous. His father worked at Ford Motor Company, and cars were important to their whole family. Danny grew up hearing people talk about engines and car designs. Cars became part of who he was. Danny also loved music because of his father, Danny Koker Sr.
It was gospel, and I grew up in black gospel, and southern gospel was what I grew up with.
Wow.
Who had a family band. Danny sang and performed with them. Music made him happy, just like working on cars did. Both passions stayed with him his whole life. In 2012, Danny got his own TV show called Counting Cars on the History Channel. The show was about his Las Vegas shop, Count's Customs, where he fixed old cars and motorcycles. People loved watching him bring broken-down vehicles back to life. His team worked hard, and each episode showed the challenges they faced. The show started in August 2012 and became very popular. It ran for 10 seasons. 2 years after the show started, Danny became the boss of the show's production. This meant he had more control over what appeared on TV. Every car they fixed and every story they told showed his love for automobiles. Before Counting Cars, Danny appeared on another show called Pawn Stars. Rick Harrison, the star of that show, called Danny whenever he needed help with rare cars. Danny knew a lot about vehicles, and viewers liked him. His appearances on Pawn Stars helped him get his own show. Being on TV brought Danny amazing opportunities. He got to work with famous people like rock star Alice Cooper.
Cool celebrity rock and roll guys that are
This was special because Danny loved both music and cars. The show let him combine both interests. Counting Cars ended in December 2021 after almost 10 years. Fans were sad because they enjoyed watching Danny and his crew transform old cars into beautiful machines. But Danny didn't stop working. Count's Customs is still open and busy today. The shop welcomes visitors. Car fans can take tours every day. There are special VIP tours where people can see Danny's private car collection.